Hi guys, Ronda Winstead here with you. Okay, so we are continuing to work on Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. And I have, as you can tell, gone ahead just a little bit from the last video because I realized that yesterday, which was Wednesday, and the video that I put up, that this week is the last week. Next Wednesday will be the February block. So I'm really hustling to try to get it done. So how are you guys? I hope you're fabulous. I hope that this is a good day for you. I'm so happy to spend some time with you. I love you guys. And I just, yeah. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started here. Let me update you on what I've done since the last video. Excuse me. I went ahead and just did a running stitch. Is that what it's called? I can't even remember. I am going to have to, let's see. I need to go back to my, where did I put them all? Where did I put them all? My stitches. Yeah, that's the running stitch. Okay. So I filled in around the bunny with a lavender, and then you'll notice that I have some paper here, and it's like, no, you can't use paper. It'll split, it'll rip, it'll tear, it'll blah, la, 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 la. Yes, this is true. However, what I did, let's see, let me grab some paper to show you what I did here. Oh, that's glued together. I don't want that particular piece so much. Golly, I've got a whole bunch. What's the deal? Okay, here's a piece of music sheet. And I'm going to just quickly, and this is not like a secret or anything like that. This is just, and I'm using this gloss luster because that's what I have. This is Mod Podge. I've heard it, usually it's pronounced Mod Podge, but it's not Mod, it's Mod Podge. Doesn't matter. Call it whatever you like. So what I did, just to show you how you can make paper work with some of your stitching projects. Let me grab another paper. We'll just stick this underneath. Come on, come on, come on. We shall. So basically, this is all I did, was to put a coat, just an even coat of Mod Podge. Not a humongous amount, but just some. And then blow dry that, let it dry, and then flip it over and do the same thing to the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a quick, use my blow dryer for just a second here. We will flip it over, and I will do the other side, and then I will go ahead and let that be drying while I'm moving on. So I don't want to spend a lot of time doing that. Okay, so what we're doing is coating this with kind of a, I guess this is kind of like a plastic or something. I'm not sure, but it does give it a coating, and it's, if you don't like using it, you definitely don't need to do that. But, and there are other things that you can probably use instead of a Mod Podge. I know people make their own too. So what I'm going to do is we'll work on some other things, and I'll kind of let this dry. And at some point, I'll show you, what I do with that. But let's set that off to the side. So that is what this is. You can see that it's got a little bit of a shine. I'm fine with that. But of course, if you have a matte medium of the Mod Podge, then you won't get the shine if that's a problem. And I'm not recommending necessarily that you even add paper in with your stitchery. This is just something I'm loving to do. These are scraps, and it tears fine. I did this with my tear ruler, so I'm okay with this. And the interesting part, this is one of the pages. I purchased an old book from Rachel with Roxy Creations, and she sent some extra papers and pages, and these are from that. So this is kind of fun to tie it in together that Rachel, sent me these extra wonderful foreign pages, and I have no idea what language this is or what this says, but anyway, so I'm just showing you what I'm doing and hoping that you're inspired enough that you're just working on your own project, whatever it might be, and hopefully you're doing this challenge with Rachel and with Sarah and their mom. Okay, so this I have done just a little cross stitch, and I'm still thinking about maybe adding a little flower or a little bit of extra stitching in here. I felt like before it was pretty plain. Anyway, so I added this paper, fabric paper. We kind of made it, into a fabric by doing what we did. Okay, so I've added that piece. I added here, I stitched here, and then you'll also notice, let me take my needle out, that I have also blanket stitched around the edge of this lace. So now it had just been lightly glued with my glue stick, and now it's nicely tacked down. And I used that awful silk thread, and I followed Sarah's hint on how to thread the needle with that silk thread. Man, that stuff unravels fast, and it's kind of a booger to work with, but it does give this beautiful little shine. So anyway, so I tied that in. So I've tied in my purples. I've been using purples and greens, and now I'm trying to decide what to do here. And I have this little scrap of fabric that has these sweet little cutouts. I was thinking of maybe using a butterfly. So let's just see if this would work. That could be really kind of cute there. And it wouldn't even be bad to have another little piece of fabric here, and then put the butterfly on as a focal point, a little bit on top. So I pulled out some of my purples. This would be more muted. I don't want to go too crazy with this. I mean, this is fairly bright, and I didn't want to use much more in this because these are very vivid and bright, and I want the purples to stand out. I definitely want you to be able to see, but so that that might be kind of nice, actually. Let me see. We've got some other colors here. Oh, I love these birds. Oh, they're just so darn cute. We could put a little birdie walking along the bottom there. This could be nice underneath. And there's another little piece of my fabric that I used there. No, I don't want to repeat. Let's see. Oh, we can look at that. Don't want it too bold or bright, but want it pretty. That could be pretty too. I'm going to put this back in here since I've got this little piece out. More fairies. And okay, there's a different piece. We'll put this back. I just have all kinds of... I do not throw away my quilting scraps because I paid as much for the tiny little pieces of scraps as I did for the big yardage. That was like... Someone pointed that out, and it's like, that's right. These little itty bitties cost just as much as the bigger pieces, so utilize. Make it work. Let's see. Okay, let's just take a look-see now, and we will kind of narrow this down. This is kind of cool. I love this, but I'm not sure that I would want green on green, and I don't want that. And that sort of got in the wrong pile anyway. Right. What did I do with the little butterfly? Butterfly. Too much purple, I'm thinking. I don't want the purple to be that pronounced. Maybe. Let's give a smaller piece. I don't like that. Okay. Here's a lighter variation. That might work nicely because you're in your... You know, I'm kind of loving this because it's this. Let me tell you what I like and what I don't like about it. I love the fact that it's a more subdued pattern and it has that lavender in it. What I don't like about it with this project is this is very much the same coloration here. And I think that I perhaps want a little bit more of a contrast to balance this. So in this, you almost have, like in contrasting pieces, you have 1, these are more prominent, 2, this green is prominent, and then you could have this, 3, 1, 2, 3, which looks very balanced and nice. And this could work really well with that. Okay, let's continue thinking and let me kind of sort of clean this up as I go. I do have a tendency to, when I'm pulling things out like this to look at and whatnot, I can get a little messy. Now, the other thing that we were going to look at perhaps was this piece. And this, I think, could also give a nice variety. And this is a really beautiful piece. It's got lots of color variations. So I don't think I want, let's see. whatever I do, I would want this. I don't care for that. No. Let's see. What about something of this nature, kind of in betweenish? You know, I like that this has the gold in it and the shimmer, and that you've got shimmer going on here. But I think I'm going to save this for some other projects today. There are a lot of things as you're going through, you know, your choices and whatnot. You'll find that sometimes there are many good options, and so you just kind of have to narrow it down to what you feel like is speaking to you at the time. Does that make sense? And just kind of go with your instincts. Trust yourself. Trust your instincts. And just do what you like. You know, if you mess it up and down the road you're like, oh, I should have done this or I should have done that, that's all right. You know, I mean, there are no hard and fast rules. Or if there are, I haven't learned them, and I don't use them. And I know that Rachel is very encouraging of just try different things and be yourself, and you don't have to be perfect, and you know, it can just be a fun experience. Okay, I'm kind of liking that. And of course I love the ripped effect. So let's see what we've got. Normally when I'm working with fabrics and that type of thing, if they're all wrinkled up, I do take them to my iron. I'm sorry. I do. It drives me nuts. But that's what I do. Okay, so if I put that somewhere in there-ish, and then I do my butterfly in here. Now, technically, this butterfly is too big, right, for this. I mean, this is a big honkin' butterfly. It's not, but to these flowers, you know, it is very big. But we're not going to let that bother us. Now, what I'm going to do with this, I am going to use a little bit of Wonder Under, which is basically, you buy it in the fabric store and you basically are putting a little bit of a glue on there with paper, and then you take it off and you can iron it, and then you can press it down with that. I'm not doing it for the glue part. What I'm doing it is to make this more sturdy and stable, so that when I go around, it won't be completely all frayed out. That will hold it in place just a little bit more, if that makes any sense. Okay, so I think this is what I like, and I'm going to do it in layers. So let's just, and there again in this, I had a couple of people say that they would like to see me make one of these sewing kit roll thingies. I don't know what you want to call them, but yes, be sure. Oh, excuse me, just a minute. Okay, so now for threads and what I'm going to do. I think we'll do it in layers. We'll go ahead and do this, but what do I want to do there? Let's see. Let me grab my stitching samplers. Let's see. That I still have to finish. That's another project. And our second one, I'm thinking this might be kind of fun. Or the chain stitch even. I haven't done anything, or the seed stitch. Okay. Now, what if I did, maybe I want to do the seed stitch. Okay. And I have lightly glued this down. I mean, it will easily come up. The glue stick doesn't hold it, perfectly. I think we're just going to, let's do the seed stitch here. We will just do a little bit, and hopefully yours is coming along nicely. I'm just really having so much fun with this, you guys. I really, really am. And I have learned some different stitches. When I was doing this embroidery or slow stitch, it was just called embroidery work, hand embroidery, when I was doing it years ago. But I learned basic stitches. I learned how to do the daisy stitch. I learned the stem stitch. I learned the French knot, daisy stitch, and the satin stitch, which I didn't really use much at all, and the blanket stitch I learned a little bit later with other projects, but I am familiar at least with the blanket stitch. Those are the ones that I used all the time. And I used the stem stitch for outlining everything. So this has been really wonderful that Rachel and Sarah have shown us all these other wonderful stitches, and I am finding that I'm enjoying, the variety, doing some different things. It does feel good to try something, that I haven't really done too much of myself, and I'm learning. So, and I appreciate you coming on this journey with me, my friends. Let's see. So as you can see, this, I am stitching through the paper that I have made pliable by adding the Mod Podge. And it is working just as any of my fabrics. Okay, so you don't need to see me stitching every little stitch down. I know that would be boring. So I'm going to go ahead and do some off-camera stitching here, and then I shall return. Oh, and I forgot, I was going to put this here, so I don't really need to do as much. Duh, Rhonda, already, covering that up. Well, we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera, but I will return, which will be just now for you. Okay, I have finished doing my seed stitch, and this is one of my favorites. This new, I'm enjoying it. I'm just having fun. Okay, so I wanted to show you this Heat and Bond Ultra Hold. They have different lightweight, medium. This is just what I had on hand. I wouldn't necessarily use that for this, but that's what I did. It's a paper with a paper paper with a sticky, the bubble part, anyway, that's glue, and when you heat set it, it makes it more solid. So what I'm going to do here, and we will cut out our butterfly, and we will see how it looks. Obviously, I am not going to cut out the little antennae. We can embroider those on very easily. And I'm not sure how much of the butterfly I might use as far as how much embellishing on the butterfly. I'm thinking I may just want to do just an outline stitch or something. Okay, let's move that. Okay, so now we have our butterfly. I have this little piece of fabric, and and for me, yes, putting the background fabric was good, but as you can see, since then I've layered and I've done, I've added more, which I think that's okay. It's okay if you want to add more. Or I could just leave it this way. I could go like thus and such. Oh, that's even pretty just like that, isn't it? And I could do this. I still quite like that. Let's try it this way. One of the disadvantages, of course, of having your background all done and a lot of work done is that it is harder to add other elements if you decide you want to add them. Many good ways to go. I also thought this looked really pretty down there, but then I'm covering up this beautiful little center emblem, which I think is amazing. We could try it down here. Actually, a little small flower down in there could look pretty. Could embroider something down there. Okay, so my flowers are going this way, butterfly this way, butterfly this way. No. No. The butterfly is coming in for another. I just think I like where this is kind of curving this way. I kind of like this to curve this way. I don't know. I don't know why. I just do. Okay, so let's put this little bit of stick glue, my basting. I'm going to call this my basting glue. And I think I am going to go ahead and put this lengthwise down like so. And then we will put our butterfly like so. Do some, you know, some whatevering on that. Okay. Okay, I'm liking that. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to take this over to my iron and just iron it so that just this little bit. This is kind of a plastic coating, so I don't want to get the iron on that. That could mess things up a little bit. So what I'll do, I'll show you this part, and then you'll just see. So that removes it, and here is the glue part. So I'm going to lay that down yonder. I shall be right back. I'm just over here kind of in a corner trying to get that to stick a little bit. And if it didn't, that's okay, because I could just use my glue stick again. Like I mentioned before, I did not use this for the glue as much as I did just to tighten this up, to make this, I guess you could call this now a little applique, so that it doesn't fray as much. Did that make sense? Okay, so now we need to pick a thread color, and we will continue on this bright purple, pink, blue, flower. I'm not sure. Okay, so I also want to show you this. This is dried now, remember? So we will go ahead and lift this. Oops. I probably should have lifted this off a little bit earlier. Okay, so it's done on both sides. Now the last step that I do to this, to treat it so that I can use it on my fabric things, is I have an old candle here, just a plain old candle, and I am just rubbing that candle wax over my surface here. The Mod Podge, I don't know about other glues that you might use, but at least with the Mod Podge, when you do it, it has a tendency to maybe have a little stickiness, so that it might stick to itself or to other things. But when you apply the candle, rubbing that over that, then that kind of, I don't know, it just takes the stickiness away, so it's easy to use. And I'll show you, not again, but just how easy it is. Like, here's my tear ruler, and oh my word, look at that. Okay, just as I said it was going to be easy, then it like did that on me. Anyway, so maybe you do have to be a little more careful as you're tearing. Let's do another one. Let's see if we can get one the right way. Okay, there you go. Just be a little careful, and then you've got your pieces that you can add if you want to, if you want to try something different. I mean, this is just something that I like to do. And this is brand new for me, to do it in conjunction with this, with all of this textile, the embroidery, the stitching, that kind of thing. I'm just having fun. All right, guys, so I'm going to stop here for a minute. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to figure out what I want to do to stitch here and stitch around my butterfly and stitch here, and I will come back and show you my finished block, hopefully. All right, which you guys just get to see by just continuing to watch the video. All right. So I'm not completely done, but I'm still just kind of working on things. Each time I think, well, I'm going to be done, there's another little something. Now, I do love these seed stitches. This is super fun. And as you can see, I have blanket stitched all around my butterfly, and I'm really liking that. And then I did the antennae with the stem stitch. And now I thought, this is kind of puckering over here. And so I thought I might just bring in a little more of the seed stitch to bring in some sky. Let's get some blue going on here. So I apologize. I not deliberately trying to lie to you, amazing, wonderful, delightful friends and cyber neighbors. But I thought that might be kind of fun to bring in the illusion of sky with my flowers. I don't know. We'll see how this works. I'm not trying to do anything brilliant, but at the same time, I'm really having fun. And so I am trying to just, continue to work on this. Ugh. I even took it with me. This is how we got a bite of lunch, and before we went to lunch, Dave had an appointment to have his hearing aids checked. We got him new hearing aids around Christmas time, and they've been adjusting them so that they work nicely. And I waited in the car while he was doing his thing. He's like, "Come on in." And I was just like, "No, I'll just wait here." And I had my stitching with me, and that's where I stitched my butterfly. So I used to take handwork with me whenever I, traveled or went here or there, or when I had kids at home, handwork while you're at the doctor's office, or you're waiting for this or that, or, that kind of thing. But I haven't, for a while. We haven't, number one, we haven't had kids at home forever. More's the pity. I mean, I don't know, ask yourself, would you go back? Would you go back? And would I go back? With the knowledge that I have now, I certainly probably do it better, but then I might just make even bigger, worse mistakes than I did, so I don't know. I think all things considered, life's been pretty good. Ouch. And I'm pricking myself with the needle, trying to do this in a pattern that it looks like random. Don't want them to go all the same direction and all of that good stuff. But this is just, you can just see how this is just relaxing. Just relaxing. This is what you can do when you're, you want to watch a good movie, or what I like to do is I have programs that I've watched maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or more times in the past years. And so I might turn it on something like that and I'll listen. Because I can see with my mind's eye all the actors or, you know, the people involved, and I can picture them. So then I guess that's kind of like back to the watching the radio. So I think guys that I'm going to enjoy adding just a little bit of sky here. We'll go in between our leaves. I don't know, what do you think? I kind of like that, and it's definitely going to this kind of ruffly stuff going on. It's going to bring that back down. Okay, so I am going to do that. So I'm going to finish that, and then let's see. So I'll do all in there. I still have a little bit of stitching, something to do with this, and I have this to still think about. I hope this video is not going too long. I'll have to double check that, but I'll be right back. Well, I won't be right back, but it will be for you. Okay, I am done. I know, you didn't think I was ever going to get done. So let me just show you what I ended up doing. I've got French knots around this butterfly, and down here I stitched, and this is done with actually a quilting thread, dark green, and then I made some, are those cornflowers? I don't know what they are, but I thought they were very pretty. So I made some little flowers there, and that is it. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're having fun doing your stitching or whatever it is that you're working on. I love you guys, and I hope that you will have a wonderful rest of the day, evening, night, afternoon, morning, whenever it is that you're viewing this video. And if you're new to my channel, I hope you'll consider subscribing and hit the like button, and yeah. All right. Till next video, guys, have a fabulous day. Bye-bye now.